Hello everyone, Abraxas here, and today I'm going to be exploring and getting lost in SpaceEngine. Now, right here we're going to be starting off on our home planet. Love it or hate it, here we go. This is Earth. As you can see, that we got Japan over here, China over there, and Australia down there. But if we turn around here, we can see our lovely star, Sol, or as we call it, the sun. And there it is. Now, I basically plan to get lost in this episode, but there is a awesome planet that I actually want to show you guys, and it is located not very far from here, over in the Orion Nebula. So if I go over there, you can see the bright star off in this direction right here, this white main sequence star. Now if I zoom out, you can see its neighboring planets. And somewhere around here, I think this one, we have a temperate Oceania. So let's go to this object. And look at that. It is a complete ocean world, surrounded with rings, and it's being eclipsed currently by its moon over here. But what's cool is the moon is actually very, very close to the planet itself. It actually has a couple moons, but the moons typically consist of asteroids. Yeah, so it just has a small asteroids. But what's cool in this game is everything is procedurally generated, so you can go to any star that you see on the screen right now and fly over to it, and it'll actually generate its own planets, and these planets will actually be completely randomized. They'll have different textures, they will just look absolutely beautiful. So if I actually get closer to this planet, you can see these rings are actually rather dark. These are not like the same type of rings you would see around Saturn. Very cool is you could actually fly into the atmosphere of this planet, see what it would actually look like if you're on the surface of this planet. So it's a star, and you could actually see the rings in the sky. Or there's the moon, and if I actually go over here in this direction, you can see this huge dark plane over here. This is actually where it's eclipsing, and you can actually watch as its moon actually eclipses the planet as you get into the darker area. It basically looks nighttime. I'm actually kind of lost. Which way is up? Up. That was up. And what's cool is if you actually go to the dark side of the planet where the sun is still actually reflecting off the rings. Let's go ahead and back out here and go back in. You still see the sun gleaming on the rings, and you actually see the shadow of the planet against the rings from within its atmosphere. This is what nighttime looks like on this planet if you were on the ocean surface. So there's actually a list of already found like planets and stuff. So there's also this planet called You Can't Breathe Here, which is actually a temperate planet with life, and it has a ring. Completely terrestrial world with a ring, but it also has life. And there's its giant star, also known as RS8474987, whatever. It's a small yellow dwarf, just like our star. And if I actually go down into this planet, you could actually start seeing that planets that are not covered in ocean will actually very, very slowly, as you get closer, get more and more detailed. And what's cool about this is as I get closer, it'll actually make this 3D, so it'll actually generate the terrain, and you could actually explore these planets. This planet does not have a very dense atmosphere, you can tell because you could actually still see the stars even though the sun's up. Somewhere. Oh wow. That is actually a very, very big moon. You can still see the Milky Way galaxy. You can see like the grass detail. It's not like extremely detailed, but what's cool is it will, like I said, generate all this terrain. So if I actually fly around the planet, it'll actually render more and more. But let's go somewhere where the rings are. Let's see what the rings look like from the planet. So we're on the dark side of the rings, that's why we can't really see it too well, unless we go, let's say, behind this star. Or behind the rings where the star will shine through. Like right here, for example. Look at that. You see in the sky there, that's the sun shining through the ring. It actually puts a nice white streak through the sky. My game's starting to lag up here. And look at this, another terrestrial world with bright glowing rings. This is not actually a world that harbors life. It's actually just a large desert world. But if I zoom in again, you can see the aurora here on the north pole of the planet. But if I actually zoom in, just like the other world, it'll actually generate terrain. This is pretty much just one material, so it doesn't seem to really be rendering very much. The small hills. But the atmosphere looks amazing here. It's almost like not lifelike. It doesn't even look like it has shadows. It must be about noon or something, because there's no shadows actually being casted by the terrain. It's not even darker on this side. Look at that moon. That is, again, a really, really large moon. So if I actually come around this planet, this is what I wanted to show you guys, is if you actually go to where the sun is set on the planet, such as over here where it's getting darker, you can not only see it start to change, but you can see these bright rings above you. So let's go ahead and fly to where it's actually getting darker on the planet. And those hills in the background. And look at this. There's a volcano. Right where the sun is setting. So if I actually fly down, it looks like the sun has actually set. You can see the Milky Way galaxy, and you can see these bright rings and the moon there. So if this was actually where you were in like real life, if this was actually our home world and we were actually in this area, this actually would not be nearly this dark. It would actually be very bright because of these rings and that very bright moon right there. But if I actually go down further, again towards the dark side of the planet, you can see these beautiful rings. This would make basically, it would look like a full moon basically every night for a few hours until these rings are actually casted on by the planet. There you go. You can see the shadow of the planet right there. Yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful. And there you go. There's the Milky Way galaxy glowing red because of the atmosphere. An absolutely amazing view to see every single night. Anyways, let's go ahead and go to our next planet. Or star, rather. Here's a star I found called HIP 26637. Let's go ahead and check out what we got going on here. We got a warm ice giant. Let's go ahead and go to the warm ice giant and see what's going on. Oh wow. You guys thought Uranus and Neptune were blue. This is really, really blue. see what happens if I go out to the surface on this planet. You see there's like huge storms over here and everything. If I go to the surface, it's just blue. And yeah, I'm just going deeper into the planet, ain't I? A layer above you though. That's actually really awesome. But it doesn't look like there's really much to explore on this planet. Let's see. But what about its moons? What do we got here? We got a warm asteroid. That's not really much of a sight to see. We have another warm asteroid, and we got a warm Selena, which is actually kind of like our moon in a way. These are kind of the more boring objects to see because this is literally all they are. But if I zoom in, these will also procedurally generate land too, not just planets. There's no atmosphere on this planet, so there's not really going to be much of a glow on the horizon. You can just see the night sky, but like Pier's day, or Pier's night rather. So let's go ahead and zoom out of here and see what we can get over at another star. Let's go over to the Flame Nebula. What do we got here? I only see one large star in this galaxy, so let's go to this white main sequence star right here. Oh, I saw planets. Let's go ahead and zoom out. Let's see what we got. We got a hot desert, another hot desert, a warm gas giant, and a cool ice giant. Frozen gas giant. Okay, so let's go over to one of these hot deserts. These are going to be really, really close to this large star. Oh, wow. This is a hot desert, but it's actually really, really blue. Let's go ahead and zoom in here and see what it looks like on the surface. There's not really much to see, but this actually has a really thick atmosphere. Where's the sun at? Or the star, rather. Okay, so the star is not really too diffused, but when you look at the star in, like, the sun on our atmosphere, it's not nearly as diffused as that. So let's go ahead and see what's going on here. Looks like we have a pretty large mountain range here, but it's got a really, really purple hue to it. But there's not really too much to see on this planet. It looks like, from a distance, like it'd be an ocean world, though. What's this over here? Got a hot asteroid. Yep, that's a rock. Wonder if you could actually get on the surface of the asteroids. Oh yeah, I didn't even know that. The surface of the asteroids are actually generated. This is actually a very, very large asteroid. Let's go over to this. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's go ahead and zoom back out. This very large gas giant here. It almost resembles Jupiter in a way. Let's check out some of its moons. So over here we got a cool asteroid. Right here we got a cool Selena. We got a cool asteroid and another cool asteroid. So let's check out the Selena. Typically the Selenas pretty much always look the same. There's nothing too special about them. They'll change in colors a little bit, but they're kind of just like generic moons, I guess. Whoa. Okay, there is a lot going on here. But it looks like it's mostly asteroids. There's another asteroid. That's a blue supergiant. That's a star back there. What do we got here? We got another cool asteroid. Okay, so there doesn't seem to be too much more going on with this giant here. So let's go ahead and zoom out. And how about we go to a star cluster? Let's see if I can find one. Not that I can immediately tell. So if I actually zoom out here, you can see these bright dots. These are typically star clusters, or globulars as the game calls it. So if I zoom in right here, we got a large star cluster. These are typically the sign of a black hole being in the area. So if I zoom in to the center of this, I just passed it, you can see this blue light right here. So if I slowly go in without passing it, hopefully. There we go. Now you can see the stars that are actually orbiting around this black hole. Let's go ahead and speed up a little bit more. Yep, there we go. Now you can see light actually bending around this. You can see there is like a circle here where the light's bending around this bright light. And there we go. There's the accretion disk of this black hole. If I go ahead and hit play, or actually let's slow down time a little bit. Hit play. There we go. You can see the accretion disk spinning. From absorbed stars orbiting around the black hole as it rips it apart. Kind of like the same way you'd see a ring around a large planet. Or a solar system around a star, rather, also. So if I actually zoom in... Okay, this black hole appears to be moving. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom in. You can actually see the black hole start to show. And as I get closer, things in front of me, like these stars you can see in the corner up in the top right corner of my screen, they're actually getting redshifted as I approach the black hole. All the light being bent around the black hole is being redshifted. But if I approach the black hole and actually turn around, all these stars are being blue shifted. This is something known as the Doppler effect. But that's something for a different video. As I get closer, you can actually see the black hole absorb my screen and everything turn blue around it. So as I get more and more into the black hole... Oh, I think I got all the way in. And... this one right here. Basically, once you pass this line, you cannot escape. But as you approach the black hole like this, everything just closes in around you. So, that's just a really cool effect that this game has. I wonder if any of these nearby stars actually have any planets around them. Well, definitely not that one. Let's go to this small one over here. Little orange dwarf. No, I don't think the stars around the black holes that generate can actually spawn in planets. No, it doesn't seem so, so that's rather unfortunate, I guess. But if I actually go to one of these neighboring stars, like this red supergiant here. Whoa. I'm going to assume this is probably on the verge of actually blowing up. That's crazy looking. I wonder what happens if I actually hit play. It doesn't seem to be doing very much. No, it's just spinning. So that's really cool. Let's go over to this yellow giant over here. There we go. Oh, wow. This one has a lot of stuff orbiting around it. So let's see what we got here. Everything's really bright here because we're actually in a large star cluster. So let's see if I can actually... Scorched desert. Let's go over to that. You can see the planets actually like basically burning away. You can actually see the star pushing material out. And that's why it has a tail just like a comet pretty much. So if we go here, again, it's another... I'm trying to not go too fast. Okay, so this planet is actually molten. You can tell because it actually has lava on like the dark side of the planet. So let's see what it looks like if we land right here. Wow, that is amazing looking. all these like glowing bright stars in this giant cluster around this planet, like, just looks absolutely outstanding. It has this nice red atmosphere that transitions to blue. That is actually an amazing looking planet right there. Looks like we got another Selena. That's actually a scorched asteroid. Let's see what that looks like. It's still just another asteroid. Anyways, let's go ahead and back out of this cluster because it's actually very hard to navigate. And let's go ahead and get back into the galaxy here. And let's go over to this nebula. See a star right here. This is an orange dwarf, so the odds of a planet actually being around it are rather high. Yeah, we got quite a few here. Oh, what is this? This is a scorched desert with a really long tail on it. Oh, this one's actually more the color you would expect. Going in, again, it's kind of mostly the same, but this kind of resembles the atmosphere of Mars. Oh, wow. We are really, really close to the star. Look how huge that is. The atmosphere actually has that tan look that Mars has, so this is actually really cool looking. I see a, what is that? Another planet right next to it, like a little next door planet. And it's another hot desert. Blue atmosphere. You see its moons up in the sky there. But it's still really close to the star here. So over here it looks like we might have a large gas giant, yep. Because they'll have many moons. Whoa. This one's a really, really cool looking purple hue. The planet's white, but the atmosphere is like purple around it. Go ahead and fly in and see what this looks like. Right in the center of the storm. There's the star, you can see it through the storm here. If I actually back up, nope, I can't actually back up any further. I was gonna wonder if like the star would actually diffuse the light in here. Doesn't appear so. Let's see what we got a little bit further away. We got something dim here. We got a cool ice world. Let's go ahead and go to this cool ice world right here. And there we go. Wow, it's another world with like rings around it, but this one, this actually kind of resembles Pluto in a way. Just because it's a frozen terrestrial world far away from the star. But it's not actually that far because that's actually a very small star over there. So it doesn't actually have to be as far away for it to actually freeze. Because it's actually not putting out nearly as much energy. And let's see what the surface looks like. So this is an ice world, so all this would essentially be like frozen water, methane, it could be anything really. The color is probably telling me methane though, or something like that. And this is, if you zoom out, you can see there's like cracks in the surface, like I don't know if there's like fault lines or something, but you could actually see them like generate right here. Like if I sit in the center of this for a moment, get more and more detailed, and you can see it's like really, really striped in here. So I'm not really too sure. I'm not too sure what these are supposed to be, but it'll actually generate land based on like the texture that's going on the surface of the planet. Now there's one last thing I have to actually show you guys. If I actually keep speeding up here and zoom out, the Milky Way back here is not actually a texture. It's actually fully explorable. You could actually go to the center of the Milky Way if you wanted to. Isn't that cool? So you could actually go to the large black hole in the center of the Milky Way called Sagittarius A. Here is the large black hole in the center of our galaxy. And here we go. Here is the large black hole in the center of our galaxy. Just like the other black hole we viewed, this one you can fly into in the same way. But this one is super massive. It is huge. All the stars in our galaxy are actually orbiting around this and being held within its orbit because this thing has so much. But you can actually zoom out and go to other galaxies. You're not limited to the Milky Way. And if I zoom out more, you can see galaxies such as our neighbor. This galaxy is actually in the future going to collide with our galaxy in about 10 billion years. So it'll actually consume our galaxy, and they'll basically merge into one. And if you actually zoom out, you can keep going. There's millions, trillions, tons of galaxies to explore. Basically all the way out to the limit of our vision. If you actually look in the back here, you got these red galaxies. Those are galaxies so far away that basically that is the limit of our observable universe over there. So if I keep zooming, I'm flying. These are not stars. I'm flying past many, many galaxies right now. Every single one of these, like I said, is explorable, so you can actually fly within them and basically explore every star in them. It'll generate worlds, different stars. There's tons of things you can explore, quasar, galaxies, there's all sorts of different types. So let's see. This is actually a very, very bright galaxy. Let's see what it looks like. There it goes, it just rendered. It doesn't really seem this galaxy is actually very detailed, mainly because it looks like it's just a large star cluster, to be honest. But I'm wondering if other galaxies nearby, like this one right here, are actually textured. Yep, there we go, there's another textured galaxy. This one actually looks kind of small. And it'll actually procedurally generate textures for every single one of these galaxies out here. So if I go to... This one actually looks a lot like the Milky Way, except the arms of it are actually more spread out. One of the more dim stars, like this one right here. This is actually a carbon star. So this is actually a lot different than the hydrogen stars that we're actually used to. But let's see what planets are orbiting around it. We have a scorched desert right here. Let's see if it's color it is. Oh wow, that's actually very vibrant, like pink purple color, and it's on fire in the back. And it's gonna be the same story. You zoom in, you're gonna find like some beautiful mountains. Whoa. That carbon star actually looks really cool from here. Imagine seeing that in the sky, that'd be scary. That's actually a hot gas giant, contrary to how dim it is. Whoa, there we go. We got a nice pink orange hue going on. Some very bright rings, and this is a hot gas giant, so it's actually lit up in the... So you actually get a very, very different texture picture of the galaxy as compared to the Milky Way. It actually fades off a lot more, and it kind of has a gray hue rather than yellow. There's another temperate Selena. So it's got the same typical moons around it. These are all Selenas. At least it's not a bunch of asteroids though. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it that. That'll be the end of the video. The cool thing about this game is it is actually free. The people who are working on this are doing this completely free, no pay at all, and it is just an absolutely amazing engine and game. You can basically play around for hours just looking around at like various other planets and stuff, exploring them, and finding gems like these, like this huge gas giant here with nice bright purple and pink rings. Anyways, until then, I'll see you guys next time.